Someone had to step up and say no more.
You ordered the work stoppage?
Indeed I did. We're laborers, not soldiers. Until the Carja clean up their mess and give us the fair deal we deserve, I'm not risking Osseram lives.
Fair deal? You mean your concession decree?
It's not my decree. It's on behalf of all the good Osseram laborers of this land who do all the back-breaking work, while only the Carja reap the rewards. All we're asking for is the ability to share in this prosperity for a land worked by the people, for the people.
Right. And just how much would be your share?
Only an amount appropriate to my contributions to this community, of course.
Where's the whistle?
Right in the middle of town. But with the threat out there, I'm not endangering innocent Osram lives.
I'm going to clear out the bristlebacks. And when I'm done, this valley is going to get moving.
If that's what it takes. Until then, I'll keep looking after the safety of these good folk.
Just be ready to blow the whistle. Better see what that Carja magistrate wanted. I bet he's in the tavern.
Hey, Milda. I took some of your stew last time I went into the wilds. Kept me going for a week. Felt like I could have put a strider in a sleeper hole.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
Sounds like you're serving up some impressive provisions here.
Not again. You can have the discount too, but you'll have to come back later.
I think you have me confused with someone else.
Oven didn't send you?
No.
Oh, my apologies. It's just that his minions won't stop pestering me. Now I've even worn out my special grill. Since I'm in the midst of a crisis, perhaps you could skip to what it is you wanted?
Some of your food?
Of course.
Are Ulvin's people causing you problems?
Oh, yeah. They constantly demand my best, but the equipment I need to make my signature dishes isn't built for batch cooking. And don't get me started on the Ulvin discount they feel so entitled to.
And if you refuse?
I make meals, not trouble.
How did you end up in Chainscrape?
Heard about a new and upcoming town at the edge of the frontier. Where there's a town, there's a tavern. I was in need of work. So I got myself out here and started cooking. Some of these people had never tasted proper boars and berries stew before. Anyway, next thing I knew, people kept coming back. Guess they liked my food. Or the ale.
Your last customer mentioned your cooking really kept him going out in the wild. Where I'm headed, I could use some of that.
I would be happy to oblige, especially since you have the decency to ask pleasantly. But my special groove griddle is no more. Without it, I can't cook any of my signature dishes. I hate to think what'll happen when I'm forced to refuse Ulvin or his goons. Even if I already had the right ingredients, there's nothing I can do. Unless you can...
What do you need?
For the ingredients, a few pieces of decent wild meat, and I'd say a big handful of bitter leaf stems. That'll do. As for the griddle, a corrugated metal panel might suffice, until I can have a new one forged. You'd likely find one in the scrounger pile, if you follow the river to the northeast. Don't worry, I'll clean it first. You'll have no issue finding boars and bitter leaf on your way. Assuming you're as much a hunter-gatherer as your clothing suggests.
Thanks, Smildiff. I'll keep an eye out.
So that's what gratitude sounds like.
And don't let anyone push you around, okay?
If you say so.
Already got enough meat and bitter leaf. Just need to grab a metal panel for a scrounger pile.
Savior, thank you for taking the time. And my condolences that you had to endure.
I've dealt with worse. That's
The idea that the Karja purposely let bristlebacks into the dawn. It's completely absurd, but the louder and longer the more support he'll get for...
How did the bristlebacks get into the Daunt?
No one knows for sure. The first report, but unless they have wings, I don't see how they could have come over.
No other way in.
The only way I know about is barren light. Look, if you can get to the bottom of this, help me shut Ulvund.
How did you...
I asked for the posting, believe it. Overseeing the entire valley on behalf... It was an honor.
But your job would be a lot easier without someone like Ulvund blast...
Ulvund's not going anywhere. He's been around longer than I have. Even fancies himself the founder of... I'll find... I have to.
What is this concession?
He wants the Sundom to designate portions of the Daunt as Oseram holdings. Only the portions, mind you, that produce any value.
Let me guess. Because he stands to profit somehow?
Exactly. He could secure more investment for their...
He can't get those investments?
No. Not while there's a chance the Sundom could revoke them. Hence, why the concession is, and why blaming the Karja, no matter how absurd...
How does blaming the Karja for the bristlebacks...
Look around. This may be the Sundom, but... Chainscrape is claiming that the Karja loosed the bristlebacks in order to intimidate Oseram laborers into obedience. Well, let's just say no one here has forgotten the atrocities of the Mad Sun King. And with the bristlebacks bringing work in the valley to a halt, Ulvund has plenty of time to pick at barely healed wounds.
And if the Oseram refuse to work, unless the concession is signed, you won't have a choice.
Correct.
You said the bristlebacks were first spotted west of the quarry?
Yes, according to one, said the ground trembled. He took off and...
Good place to start looking, then.
If you learn the truth, maybe Ulvund will stop blaming the Karja for... And maybe then, he'll actually...
Shop looks closed.
Yep.
Can I still use the workbench?
I ain't gonna stop you.
You wanted to speak to me?
Well, you know better than anyone it's a dangerous world out there, and not just against machines. Name's Odur. This here's my training pit. Best place to practice close combat? Say, I wonder who'd win, you, the savior of Meridian, champion of the East, or...
Who?
The Enduring, a legendary Tanakh fighter. I've heard the Tanakh, it's out of the war, and only the very best.
So, to find the Enduring,
You'll have to go far if you do. The Tanakh are split into three clans. My guess is you'd have to beat all of them if you want to train with the Tanakh. Don't kill you on sight. But that's a far spark in the wind. I also offer challenges.
Who would I be fighting?
Well, I know you're the save, but you have to beat all the others first to challenge me. Rules are rules. We only use dual blade. These drunken fools will run themselves through otherwise. You'll have to leave everything but your spear and practice arrows at the gate. But I'll look after your gear, so...
I might be.
That's what I'm... Attacks are fast, but easily blocked. So learn to combine them with other attacks. Attacks break weapon blocks and do more damage. But they're slow, so your opponents might counterattack. Power attacks smash weapon blocks to really hammer an enemy with damage. But they're slow and leave you vulnerable, so pick your moment. Viewer seems to energize after attack. I think landing heavy attacks or combinations of energize. Use that energy. Try attacking. See if you can energize them. The savior of Meridian wins! You think your spear can deal with that armor? Use attacks to energize your spear. Then hit your opponent with a heavy or power attack to blast their armor. That energy doesn't last forever. Shoot the glowing part of your opponent before the energy fades. can give you the edge in battle. Keep energizing it, and then your enemies. Triggering those energy blasts should help you vanquish your opponents.
Scroungers. Looks like we'll find another panel on one of their scroungers. Scrap pile. Scroungers. No looks like we'll find another panel on one of their scrap piles. Through the scrap piles for a metal panel. I think I have everything I need for Mildif. Good thing, too. I can use a decent meal. I'll gather these while I can.
There you are. I happen to receive another visit from Olvin himself. He was pushy, but I stood my ground. And dare I say it, I even got my own back. Yes, I did.
I'm listening.
When I made his meal, I used 3 pinches of salt. Instead of 2.
Each journey begins with a single step, I guess. I think I have everything you asked for.
Then just as you have inspired me, let us see if I can return the favor. Time to cook.
Wow. Mildif, that was inspired.
Next time you want the best provisions, you know where to find me. Your next order of any dish will be on the house.
Thanks. And don't forget to stand up for yourself.
Funny you should say that. As it happens, I'm already cooking up my next portion of resistance. Hope to see you again.
Might be a good idea to stock up on some food before I head back out.
Even the savior
Oh,
really
someone
needs
else.
a challenge. Come to revel in some strike, sister? Let me set the board.
I was just passing by.
First timer, huh? Don't worry about it. I'll go easy on you. You got any pieces?
No.
Well, aren't you in luck then? I got an extra set, a Tanakh original straight out of the Forbidden West. Sit. I'll run you through it in a hot spark. I'll give you something special if you win it on my boards, too. All right, let's start off simple. The Tanakh like to say that Machine Strike is a game of pure strategy. We each get a set of pieces. Each piece represents a kind of machine, and each machine is worth a different number of victory points. And to win the game, you'll need to gain 7 victory points by destroying the opponent's machines. It can be tricky remembering the details of every machine, so we use these notes to keep track of them. You see that number on the top right corner? That there is how many victory points you'll get for destroying that. Notes also tell you how powerful their attacks are, the distance they can strike from, and of course, their health. Okay, that's enough for now. I own them since this is your first time. Usually you get to choose which pieces to set on the board. Pick up that machine piece to your right. And remember, each machine, take a look at your notes if you need a reminder. Easy enough, huh? Now, perfect. We're forging onward. And we're back to you. This time, why don't you try with that? Now move the piece when you'll be testing a machine's and its own. This board only has grassland terrain, which has no effect on a machine's combat power. And your current machine has 2 points of it. So in total, since my machine isn't the one attacked, and just like so right now, the difference, this means your machine, did you get all that? Knew you were smart. Finish up. Not pulling any punch. Now grab that. See how your machine can't move close enough to attack mine? You can try it out. Downside to sprinting is that your machine can no longer attack. Now some players like to take a risk and overcharge their machine in cases like this. Overcharging lets you attack after a sprint, but it will damage your machine, so use at your own discretion. Let's try doing that now so you can see what I mean. That's about it for your turn, then. Now, that machine of yours, the one closest to me, grab a hold of it. Same as in the wilds, machines have both armored points and weak points. You can see them marked on the pieces. Blue shows where their armor is thickest. Hit them there, and you'll do. Now, red, here, let me show. Now let that machine have it. Off the board she goes, and there's your first victory points. You don't have 7 of them yet. Your machine attacked my... Go ahead and move downwards. You've already attacked a machine and moved your piece. But if you overcharge your machine, and by the look of your machine's health, you'd be sacrificing your... But sometimes, overcharge your machine. Ain't that a thrill? Now, because your machine was knocked out at the same time as mine, we both get the victory points our machines are worth. Good news is, since you're the one attacking, you're gonna receive your victory points before I do. Which means you can reach the coveted 7 victory points. That's why sometimes losing a piece can be... Now, you'll notice you didn't... But you did destroy... That means that wasn't so hard. Just remember, you'd be surprised it saved my behind. Oh, before I forget, these are all my spare pieces. I want the same. It's a small set, but it should be enough to get. You might even fancy looking out for them strike. They've got all kinds of unique pieces, though they'll need the right materials. Or you might find them in the wilds. No, I've lost my fair share of pieces after the brew hop. No need to thank me. Always a pleasure to help out. Now, if you feel like playing, I could even teach you a few more tricks.
Thanks.
I knew I'd make a strike player out of you yet. How about this time I tell you how to use a board's terrain to your advantage? This one's got all the different terrains you can encounter in a game of strike. Knowing when and how to use them can mean the difference between terrain mainly affects your machine's combat. As you know, when fighting, you compare the higher your machine's combat power, so finding the right terrain is an essential. Here, I'll show you. Grab that piece to your left and move to attack my machines. Now let's take a look at your machine's combat power. Combat power is the sum of a machine's attack power, and since your machine is attacking, it's also standing on forest terrain. Add those together, my machine is standing on grass. It's also not attacking, which means their attack points aren't in play. So my combat power is 0. This means your machine can do. Go ahead and test it. There you go. Now, it can also grab your other piece and place. Since your machine is attacking, it's using its 2 points of attack power. It's standing on grassland terrain. This terrain has a value of 0. This means your machine's combat power adds up to 2 points. My machine can't use their attack power since they're defending their position. But they have the higher ground. They're standing on forest terrain, which is worth 1 point. This means my combat power adds up to 1 point. Now, the front of my machine is colored blue. This means that the spot you're about to attack has armor protecting it, which means my machine gets an extra point, giving it a total of 2 combat power points. If we compare the combat power of both machines, you'll see that you won't be able to do any damage. Whenever you're unable to top an opponent's combat power, you can still choose to attack and break their machine's defenses instead. Go ahead, try it out and see what happens. Ha, see? When you break a machine's defenses, you can knock it backwards. Sure, both our machines will receive 1 point of damage, but knocking my machine off that terrain makes it more vulnerable to attacks. Not only that, if my machine had been blocked from moving backwards, it would have received an extra point of damage. And if my machine had been, that machine would have, that's why breaking a machine to deal damage to serve useful, right? Okay, now there's still one more thing I want to show you. All right, as we've seen, the higher the terrain, the more it'll add to your machine's combat power. However, there are this is what we call a chasm. Only flying machines can be placed on those. But it'll take away 2 combat points if you do, so be wary. This is marsh terrain. Landing on it will take away 1 combat power point from most machines. It'll also keep your machine from moving for the rest of the turn. Here, let me show you. Grab that machine on your left. See? All you can do now is wait for your next turn, or you can overcharge you can still attack any nearby enemies, so well, I think that's enough yammering. Promise it'll all come in handy. Here for more tips? Why don't I tell you a bit more about the pieces we used to play? In a normal game, you get to choose which machines you place on the board. Each one is worth a certain number of setup points, and you can spend knowing what each machine. Building an army that is the key to becoming when assembling your army, there are a few things to keep in. First and foremost, you can never have more than 4 of the same machine on the board at the same. With that in mind, most players would choose machines based on how far they can move or how much attack, but a real strike player will be looking at a machine's type and skill. Let's take a quick look, shall we? Pick up that machine on your left. All right, let's talk about the different ways in which a machine attacks its opponents. In other words, its machine type. If you look at your notes, you'll see this machine here is a melee type. You can also tell by the shape of the base the piece stands on. A melee-type machine attacks the first enemy within range. We've seen this plenty of times. Just move that piece forward so I can show you some more stuff. Great, now grab your other machine. Looks like we've got ourselves a gunner-type machine here. This means they'll only hit the farthest enemy in their attack range. Let's move that machine forward and end your turn so we can take a look at it. Let's go with This is a ram-type machine. Attack an enemy with it, and it'll push the piece backwards. Like this. See, now my machine has taken over your machine's spot on the board. This is a great way to take the advantage away from your opponent if they have the higher ground. Looks like we have one more piece to look at. Now this is a beauty of a piece, a dash-type machine. When it attacks, it'll move to the end of its attack range and damage every machine in its path, including your own. So make sure you take a good look at the board before you send it off to the races. You should also make sure it's able to finish its attack on an empty spot. Otherwise, you won't be able to attack at all. Here, I'll show you. Look, it even rotated your piece. A nifty little piece you'll definitely want in your set. If you look at your notes, you'll notice this particular machine has one of the skills I mentioned before. There's quite a few of those, and we haven't even looked at all the machine types yet. But I'm pretty sure you've got its got. I think that about does it for now. Here we go. Time to get serious. Board's all yours. Just one piece left. Your move, Red. Oh, I thought I had that one. Good luck. That's it for me. My turn. Your turn. Time to make my move. You're up, Red. Come up. Ah, off the board it goes. Your move, Red. That was brutal. Okay, let's see. Well, that's done now. Just one piece left. That sure dampens the forge. Time to get serious. One less piece on the board. That's the game. You up for a rematch? Let's do this! Come up. You're up, Red. Knocked right off the board. Okay, let's see. Time to make my move. Sometimes I surprise even myself. That's it for me. One less piece on the board. Your turn. You got me. Fair and square. Let's play. Board's all yours. My turn. Your move, Red. That was brutal. My turn. That's it for me. Ah, off the board it goes. Time to make my move. You're up, Red. Well, that's done now. Knocked right off the board. Board's all yours. Ah, looks like I lost. This is gonna be fun. Your turn. I'm up. Your turn. Hey, I like that piece where it was. I always get nervous when I overcharge my pieces. Time to get serious. That was brutal. Ah, off the board it goes. Okay, let's see. Yes! That's it for me. Time to get serious. Oh, only one machine left. Not looking good for you, Red. Time to make my move. Well, spark my forge. You have beaten me on every one of my boards. Now that deserves a prize, I say. Come back anytime, Ray.
Back for that free...
Up for some training? If you keep repeating the same attacks, your enemy will dodge them. Vary your attacks and combinations. Make yourself less predictable.
Not again. Not again.
Come on. If your opponent keeps blocking, then use a heavy attack or a power attack to break through. Either that or hit them from behind. That didn't do it. Try again.
This should be useful. Now I just need to go around and help him clear the box.
Attention to your opponent's stance. Read their intentions. Choose your attacks to break their defense. How fast can you learn? I see how you are. A good series. Good. Good. You fight well. Good. Good. Good series of attacks. I see how you earned your reputation. You fight well. I see how you earned your reputation. Good. I see how you earned it. You fight well. First an attack. You thought this'd be easy?
I love it, of course, you know.
I see how you earned it. You fight well. Yield! I yield! Well fought, friend.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Ooh. Serves me right for thinking I could go up against the sick. Here, have this. Don't be a stranger now.
See you later, Dirk.
Farewell then.
He shops for us around.
Where are you off to? It's a dead machine. It must be a bristleback. Maybe Errand took it down? Is that a tripwire? The whole area's rigged with them.
Hey! You! Make it worth your while if you kill these scroungers!
It's always something.
Hold tight! I'll see what I can do!
Try luring them into the tripwire.
Can't override that either. Need to get data from the cauldron if I can find one. innocent enough.
Come on over. Let me give things proper like.
See, you're a practiced hunter. Took you less time to kill those scroungers than vanguards to kill one bristleback.
So the vanguards came through here?
Yeah, just a bit ago. Down that bristleback, headed south. But then those scroungers showed up to carve the carcass, as they do. Then another bristleback ran through. I'm telling you, it's crazy around here.
So the vanguard went south?
Probably. This whole valley is swarming with them. The vanguard seemed dead set on getting rid of them.
I see.
Hold on there, Red. If you're gonna go chasing across the Daunt, you're gonna want a tripcaster. Not just any tripcaster. One of my make. Free of charge.
Workmanship looks solid enough.
Yep. Been tweaking the design since I left Chain Scrape. More room to tinker out here and less chance of, well, accidents.
Did something happen in Chain Scrape?
Well, like someone.
Let me guess. Ulvund.
Back when I had a place in town, he took a real interest in my wares. Kept pressing for the Ulvund discount. And I said no. He didn't like that so much. I can't prove it, but that chuff bucket set my workshop on fire. Felt it best to put some distance between us after that.
Cable car operator told me the bristlebacks just appeared yesterday. Do you know anything about them?
How is old Karn? Back in the day, me and him got into all sorts of trouble. There was this one time that...
Anything about the bristlebacks?
No. Karn said true. Just showed up and ran amok. Lucky for me, I've got you and the Vanguard swooping in time to time to save my backside.
I should get going. Thanks for the tripcaster.
While you're blasting bristlebacks, I think I'll head down to the hunting grounds. Did you know they have a tripcaster trial? Come by later if you want to try it out.
Maybe. After I get things under control. So Erend headed south. Should be able to pick up his tracks with my focus. Tracks headed up the hill. Errands? My focus can help me follow them. Let's see where this leads. Sounds like someone's putting up a fight.
Another one down! Now this is what I was forced for. No ledgers to fill. No boring mid-afternoon patrols. Just a hammer. Just the fight. Aloy?
Erend! Stay where you are. I'll handle the rest.
Those bristlebacks have acid canisters on their backs. It should trigger a chain reaction if I hit them with acid arrows. Send this to my stash.
Here, Lloyd. Now you might have to meet me halfway here. Caught me at my best, as usual.
Well, you did the hard part. I just took care of the stragglers. How bad is it?
Who needs ribs, huh? Oh, I'm good. I'm good. Huh. Okay, well, I know you didn't come all the way to the Daunt just to watch me get wrecked. So what's the story?
I need the embassy to happen, so I can head west. Erend, what I did at the Spire, what we did, it didn't end the threat. It just slowed it down. There's still more to do.
Really? Well, that's great. I mean, yeah, not the threat's not over part. That's not so great. But hey, whatever you're up against, your spear, my hammer, just like old times.
Erend, I need the embassy now. I can't wait for you to heal.
Couple of days rest, if that.
Actually, even if you weren't hurt, what I have to do, it's better if I do it alone.
Alone? Ah, that figures.
Aaron! I hate to interrupt the romance, but I'm pretty banged up here.
Don't blow your blaze, I'm coming. Oh, this just keeps getting better. Huh. Listen, I'll go to Barren Light. If you want this embassy, we're gonna need this sun priest.
Oh, I'll clear the Valley of Bristlebacks, then I'll catch up with you there.
Well, I guess that's sort of...
I'm sorry?
You? Sorry?
Where is this coming from?
Hey, just, forget it, yeah.
It sounds like some...
All right, fine. Now, after the battle at the Spire, you left without so much as a handshake. I mean, people like me, we fought and bled at your side, Aloy. What kind of person does...
Erend, I left when I did, how I did, for...
Oh, thanks for...
Listen to me. Life on...
What are you talking about?
Exactly what I just said. Fix a piece of technology created by the old ones.
Well,
Erend!
I guess that's my cue.
Maybe I should go with...
No, hey, you need it elsewhere.
That doesn't sound good.
You'll have to handle that one anyway. You'll only...
I'll dry off. Let's do it. It's a ruin from the old world. I could find something interesting inside. Okay, what do we have in here? Looks like this door needs some kind of key module. Think there's one in the ruin? Great. That should be useful. No, it's not gonna budge from here. What's this data say? There's a code for the locked door in this data. But I still need to find a key module. Okay, gotta find a key for the door. There's more of the ruin down here. Where to now? I can grab this from my stash later. Haven't found a key module. Maybe I should take another look around. Well, I can't reach the ledge above now. Guess I'll have to find another way up. The key module. Okay, let's see if this key fits. There. Looks like this needs a code, too. I think some of the data I picked up might help. I'm in. What is this thing? Guess I'll hold on to it for now. I've got to use for it later.
Can we please?
Mighty thankful to you, Savior.
Just Aloy is fine.
Aaron mentioned you're not one for fancy titles.
You're Vanguard.
Well, here to escort Vaudice's delicate behind to the embassy.
If we can get rid of these bristlebacks.
Captain said to keep an eye on Chainscrape, then these ugly lugs showed up.
Gave the first one a good beating.
But didn't quite have time to roll out of the way when it fell.
Told you it wasn't a good idea to eat that much before heading out.
I should probably get going.
Now, if you see any more of these bristlebacks...
I'll make sure to roll out of their way.
Might want to take some of these with you as well. They're handy in a pinch.
Thanks.
Stay safe, Aloy.
I'll stash this away for later. My focus is tracing the signal back to that metal tower. Might be worth checking out. An image from the old world. Looks like some kind of building in front of sheer cliffs. The image is incomplete. But maybe if I line it up exactly with where it was taken, my focus can fill in the rest. Looks like the building in the image might have been near a river. Maybe there used to be a bridge nearby? I don't think that's right. I better keep looking. There's the quarry Fearless mentioned. And it's full of bristlebacks. One less machine. If I find where these machines are going,
Those acid spitters brought friends.
Another one down. One less machine. Another one down. There. Quarry's safe.
Stranger, come on over here. We gotta talk. I don't know what Honora's doing out here, but consider yourself owed. We tried to hold off and wait for the Vanguard, but one of them bristlebacks charged us. Next thing you know was a full-fledged fracas.
Is everyone okay?
We lost some good people, but we would have lost the whole quarry without you.
Well, at least it's quiet now.
Your ears ought to be ringing with a quarry at work, but Chain Scrape's whistle ain't blowing, so we're stuck picking up the pieces.
You need the whistle to get back to work?
Me and my crew were just little can't lift a hammer till Olvin blows that thing. Cause if we work without his say-so, and my people have been...
Olvin holds...
He's got the money and connections. Almost feels like...
What are you and your crew working?
We're supposed to be working Olvin's claim, digging out stone to show, but the work stopped. Never seen where in Forge.
I'm not sure. I need to get going.
Thanks to you, that might...
Think I've cleared out most of the bristlebacks. Chain Scrape can get back to work now. I'll go give Olvin the good news. Vladdy's too. Then maybe this embassy can finally happen. Javad said the bristlebacks were first spotted west of the quarry. I should see if there's anything in the back of the valley. Dead bristleback, waterfalls. Go check it out. Looks like it died on impact. Maybe it charged off the cliff up there. I better keep following the trail up. Bristleback? Gemstone. It's green like blaze, but it's hard and shiny. Modern portraits would be interested. Might have charged off the cliff above. I should keep going up the trail. An old mine. And a lot Broken trees. It's like a stampede went through. Is this where the bristlebacks came from? But how? Unless this cave leads out of the don't. On me. It's into my stash. Okay. Let's see where this leads. The old cart tracks collapsed. It looks recent. Guess I'm not going that way. There's smoke from deeper in the mine. An explosion? Bristlebacks. So they did come through here. They must have gotten trapped. I'm gonna have to take them out before I can look around. Better take a look at where the smoke's coming from. There's a lot of smoke. It looks like the mine runs pretty far back. There's enough blaze here to blast a mountain open. And there's a note on one of the barrels. It's addressed to Owen. Looks like this mine was supposed to be shut down. Owen must have gone through and kept blasting deeper into the mountain. I should let your god know what I found. Time to get Ulvin to blow the whistle, then what east to Bearlight.
Savior?
Picked up the Bristleback trail. Looks like they stampeded out of a mine at the back.
The mine? How could a herd...
I'm not sure, but Ulvin's workers were using
For the love of Dawn, I told him... Those tunnels, they run for miles underground, even... No, you don't think.
that'll...
Perhaps. If this is true, an inquiry. So thorough.
All right, I need to go.
Of course.
If I'm gonna find out where the Bristlebacks came from, I need to head further west. Another reason to get the embassy going?
Still here,
If Chainscrape is on Karja land, shouldn't a Karja be in charge?
The sensibilities of good Osram You think a Karja can head this whole The magistrate can bear...
So you have no real authority then? People only follow you because...
Anyone who has followers has authority. And it's honest folk, no.
You said you founded Chainscrape.
Practically founded. I alone saw its potential when it was... I invested in the mine, convinced some friends. You could say Chainscrape is what it...
Oh, so you're not just standing around and profiting off everyone else?
Not at all. Sure, I make a little rip. But my main priority is to look after the well-being of...
I cleared out all the Bristlebacks.
Oh, you did?
Now that you've recovered from your shock, time to blow the whistle.
Oh, there, not so fast. I'll have to send someone out to confirm the kills. Shouldn't take more than a day.
No. You blow...
These are innocent Osram lives we're talking.
Either you do it now, or I will.
I knew you could do it! Friends, gather around. The savior of Meridian has... You. What? Sound the whistle. Chainscrape is...
Yay.
And Ulvin has agreed to personally pay every worker their lost wages.
Yeah!
That's more like it!
Yeah! Woo!
Ha-ha!
Yeah! Yeah! Don't you have an embassy to get to?
Yeah, I guess I do. Well, the Chainscrape's back to work. Merchants should be open to trade. I should see if they have anything useful before I send Wadis off to Barrenlight.
Ulvin brought out only the good stuff for you, Red. Seeing as you got that whistle blowing.
Hey, I've been waiting to get my lucky hammer fixed for days.
You haven't done anything useful like getting rid of any bristlebacks, though, have you? Take your time. I promise you won't be disappointed. Come back anytime.
Now can I get this fixed?
I can fix your tools. Afraid there's no fixing you.
I'll drink you under the table.
Outfit. Armor.
The way to Barren Light is clear. Get moving.
You're not errant vanguardsman. I will move only when the captain
When
says...
I've cleared out all the bristlebacks, which I have. Captain's orders.
So they're okay?
Banged up, but breathing. And waiting up ahead for you.
But I was supposed to have 3 escorts.
I'm off to Barren Light, buddies. Like Aloy said, captain's orders. You can stay here.
Abandoned to the riffraff? I think not.
Guess you're coming with me then. See you there, Aloy.
Well, now that that's done, the embassy can finally get underway. If I can get through it, I'll be able to track down Silence. Hades.
I've heard about it.
Guess I could head straight for Barren Light. Or poke around the Daunt some more first. And maybe take Petra up on that drink.
Come for that beer after. Get a pint. Wasn't expecting you to swing by.
Since when do I?
There's that fire and spit. That's a blast from the bell. Won't fix the forge, but at least I can forget about my troubles.
Like what?
Well, things aren't as bad since you got this place. But we still got Olvin grating the gears about his concession. If you don't put that down, I'll come over there and show you how that game ends. Anyway, right now to come all this way.
Shadow Carja refugees. What are they doing in the Daunt?
Looking for a new home, I guess. They're camped out by an old trailhead, and therein lies a stormbird crashed up on the cliffs last week, and Talon Cleanbrokers had his eye on the salvage ever since. But the refugees have barred entrance. Mustn't interrupt their sun-scorched ritual.
Huh.
Yeah, well, but overall they're... Not that it matters. Maybe...
So the bristleback...
You're a pig. Blasted things, those bristlebacks. They just showed up one day, lost some good people. But bless them, that put a dent in. Now,
But how could bristlebacks and the Daunt help Olvind?
2 words. Concession decree. Since no one knows where the bristlebacks, Olvind has taken to blaming the car. He's hoping to dig up until the concession. This is just his late. He's been trying to run.
About that. I think the bristlebacks came out of Olvin's...
Now, there's a spark that could light a fire.
I'm working on it.
By the forge.
I thought you'd be back in...
Well, after the big battle at Meridian, but realized it was running smooth. Heard about the rebuilding out at Barren Light. Been scraping by...
You could always...
And go back east? Nah. Besides...
What else can you tell me about...
Well, they don't call themselves Shadow Card, at least not anymore. But whatever side of them don't seem to want prey and...
So they're just blocking entry?
Don't rightly know. Should they ever wise up, and if they get there first, then not that Tolan Cleanbrokers ever lost sleep.
Who is this Talland Cleanbroker?
Just some chuff-huffing pondsman. Got a shop here and lived in Chainscrape since there was a chain. He and Ulvin go back a ways. Like a pair of coals and a camp.
So Talland works for Ulvin?
Ha! Ulvin might think so. But Talland... And he ain't the type to let a few
So about...
Around here, everything's about...
How'd he end up in charge?
He got here early, like a squirrel, smelling... He knew rebuilding barren-like, so he janked getting investor. Thing is, all the bankers back home know that this is Karja land, and the Sun King can revoke the... That's why he's desperate for the magistrate to sign off on a
This concession decree, what...
It's pig diddle, that's what.
A writ that would put all Oseram claims in the Daunt under Oseram, even though they're on Karja land. It would mean that any existing ore, stone, and timber claims, no more risk, no more hesitation for investors back claim to pour in the shards. And since Olvind has a stake in all those, it would make him richer than a scrapper, not to mention chain, so he could buy... He's a slyer. Figures if he keeps up the...
Well, if I'm up that way, I'll talk to the refugee.
Much appreciated. They have it.
Petra said Talon has a shop up here in Chainscrape.
No?
I could have a word with him first.
I'm sorry, I'll be right with you. Okay, I'm not saying it's a bad idea.
It's a weapon! Kill is the point.
Not if it blows the user. So, you...
Actually,
Could you just not?
I
got it! Triple the powder. It'll blow a Strider sky high. Ba-boom. One shot kill.
maybe I am.
Then you are in the right... How would you like to be the proud owner of...
Explosive, done in one, machine wrecking.
Yet perfectly safe, javelin thrower.
Are you two from around here?
Nah, the claim. Dad sent us out west in search of some unknown opera.
Sounds like you had other...
Let's just say it isn't how I want...
So, she's your...
My apprentice and my sister. There was an incident.
Involving explosives?
Ba-boom!
And Dad's precious homebrew. He shipped us out the next day.
Huh. Tell me more about...
Saw a scroll when I was a kid by some... Had a scary drawing of a Tenakth warrior hunting with a kind of... Effective? Yes. Basic, but coming out here, and I'm on the brink.
Whereas I will...
I can use machine parts to enhance the user's throw. Well, Boomer here is adamant that enhancing the projectile is better, namely with explosive tip.
Boomsticks.
Why not both?
That could work. I need the parts to make the first working... Well, for starters, I'll need...
Charger horns. Intact.
Yeah, that. Just be sure to shoot them off before the machine... Otherwise they break. But the real innovation, keep it to yourself, is a...
There's a mean one east of here.
Boomer! You get him for me. It's yours.
You have a deal.